Welcome to Specialist Lending Solutions Television. I'm Victoria Hartley, Group Editor of SLS. Now, I'm here with Andrew Ferguson, MD, Buy-to-Let at West One Loans, to talk all things buy-to-let. Welcome to the second segment of the interview. Now, the UK specialist buy-to-let mortgage market has been growing, but as a lender, Andrew, how do you plan to grow with it? And can I ask the ever critical question about the kind of lending volumes you're targeting this year?
Hi, Vicky. Yeah, no problem. I'll start with the second bit first. I mean, any new market that NRA undertakes or wishes to compete in, one of the strategies for the business is to become a meaningful player within that market. So we've obviously done that in bridging, we've done that in seconds, and are building that in our development finance business as well. So the aspirations for buy-to-let are no different. We want to try and build a scalable, good quality business. So the plan is that over the course of this year and going into 2022, by the back end of the year, we want to be lending in the region of 30 to 40 million pounds a month, purely on specialist buy-to-let.
Lovely, thanks very much. Simple as and beautifully straightforwardly answered. You've also grown your underwriting team. You mentioned earlier, Andrew, from 4 to 11, and your sales team from 3 to 8, which is not easy in such a short time period in such a busy market. So can I ask, what's your strategy here? And what strategically are brokers actually going to see from you due to this increase in personnel?
Okay. Yeah, well, clearly the sort of numbers I've alluded to there suggest the growth in volumes that we want to see this year and building for the year ahead. So there's three main pillars to our strategy in terms of growth. So one is improvement of systems and IT infrastructure. So as I alluded to earlier, we've made some significant improvements to our online systems. The second one is around our distribution capability. So we've made our offering much more accessible to many more brokers. So in addition to the master broker channel that remains really important to us, a big strategic change for us is the ability to service clubs and networks. So we've already seen this year 7 or 8 sort of key large distributors have joined our panel. So there's now a lot more brokers joining our panel and wishing to learn more about West One. So the reality is that to service that much increased telephone need, email traffic, broker visits when things return to normality or Zoom calls, etc. at the moment, we need a fit-for-purpose team that helps take us on that journey and ensures that we can give the service needed. So you alluded to the sales team growth. So we've now got 8 individuals, of which 3 are telephone-based in our head office in Boreham Wood. We've now got a head of sales role that will help me run the business and liaise with some of the key distributors as well as supporting the team. We've got a national account manager for our packager channel, because the master broker packager channel is still really critical for us. And we've also got somebody, Jason James, that has now come in and is looking after the expansion into the club and network arena. So in addition to that, a couple of key account roles that will be focused on the sort of high, more premier individual firms that need a lot of support to develop deep relationships with those guys. So that's at the front end. We're obviously doing a lot of marketing and Marcom stuff in the background to really get our name out with those key distributors. So in order to service the stuff that is then coming in, we've clearly had to invest in back office roles. So we've significantly upskilled our underwriting capability as well as the ops team as well, just so that we can meet that standard that I said to you at the start today about ensuring that if we get much busier, and we're already seeing things ramping up, if we get much busier, that we don't put ourselves in a situation where we're unable to maintain the high service standards that Ember prides itself on.
Thanks for that, Andrew. Now, West One Loans is renowned as a bridging and development lender primarily. So how are bridging exits converting into buy-to-let business for you?
Yeah, well, look, there's 2 strands to that. One is the stuff that we see through our internal businesses, because you're right, clearly our internal businesses are very, very successful, and we've certainly seen over the last 12 months, a growing demand from developers and landlords that are, looking to exit rather than necessarily sell units or whatever. They're looking to hold some units themselves. So we've seen a key change we've seen over the last 12 months would be the more holding of buy-to-let assets and those developers, etc., wishing to build their buy-to-let rental portfolios and maybe only selling half of the units that they might have originally planned to. So there's definitely been more activity in that space than what we'd seen previously. But again, it's not just about the internal stuff. Because we are known for our skill at bridging and short-term lending and understanding how property professionals operate in terms of buying, renovating, improving, and adding value, and then refinancing, we find that there's definitely more demand across our broader broker base to not only do the internal exits, but to support developers that wish to exit facilities with other lenders as well.
Andrew, thanks so much for that once again. I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap up there for today, but thanks ever so much for joining me today, Andrew. It's been such a pleasure. And thank you very much for watching Specialist Lending Solutions Television.